So hi everyone. So this is the part 2 of the neuroanatomy. So in the last video we discussed about the brain and the parts of the brain and the terminologies, etc. So and next we are moving on to the spinal cord. Yes. In spinal cord, we need to study about the external features as well as the internal features. So first of all, we will move on to the external features. So the extent, what is the extent of spinal cord? It starts from the level of C1 and it ends at the level of L1. Okay, it starts from C1 and it is ending at L1. Especially in adults, it ends at the lower border of L1, and in children or neonates, it ends up the upper border of L3. So this is a very important thing. You also need this in NEET PG also. That is extent. In the case of adults, it starts from C1 and to the lower border of L1. In neonates, it starts from C1 and ends at the upper border of L3. So I guess that is clear. Next comes the length. So in males it is 45 centimeter. In the case of females it is 42 centimeter. Coming to the shape is mostly cylindrical, but what happens is that it is not uniformly cylindrical because it is having two enlargements. We are having two enlargements. If this is a spinal cord, here one enlargement and here is the another enlargement. Okay. So this enlargement is called as cervical enlargement. The first enlargement is called as cervical enlargement, and the next is called as a lumbar enlargement. So the cervical enlargement is mainly due to the brachial plexus, and the lumbar enlargement is due to the limbosacral plexus. I guess this much is clear. The external features, we talked about the extent, that is different for adults and neonates, and about the length, it is different for males and females, and about the shape, it is cylindrical but having two enlargement, and it is due to the brachial plexus and the limbosacral plexus. So that is clear. Moving on to the next. So this is the cervical enlargement. In cervical enlargement, the extent of the enlargement is from C3 to T2. Okay, C3 to T2. Yes, in the case of lumbar enlargement, the enlargement is from L1 to S3. So here there is S3, right? So we already said that the spinal cord is up to the L1 level. Then how come the lumbar enlargement extends from the L1 to the S3? That will be a question, right? Yes. So these are actually the spinal segments. So we are talking about this thing, right? The C3, T2 as well as L1, S3, all these are spinal segment. It is not with respect to the vertebrae. Okay, it is not with respect to the vertebrae. I am here talking about the spinal segments. Okay, and the spinal cord, of course, it ends at L1. So these S3 and L1, all these are spinal segments. Okay. So that is clear, I guess. And the spinal cord ends with a cone-shaped structure. This is the cone-shaped structure. Okay, so that is called as conus medullaris. Okay, this is called as conus medullaris. After the conus medullaris, a thread-like structure is extending, and there will be a fine thread-like structure goes up to the coccyx. This is called as filum terminale. So there are certain terminologies, that is the cervical enlargement, its extent with respect to the spinal segment, and also lumbar enlargement and its extent. And about the conus medullaris, spinal cord ends in a cone-shaped structure, and from the cone-shaped structure, a thread-like thing, like it starts from the conus medullaris up to the coccyx. That is called as filum terminale. I guess that is also clear. Moving on to next. So this is conus medullaris. Okay, this is conus medullaris. This is conus medullaris, and a thread-like structure is extending. Okay, this is conus medullaris. This is conus medullaris, and a thread-like structure is extending from here. Right? Yes, this is called as filum terminale. So I guess this much is clear. Yes, so the brain and spinal cord is, the brain and spinal cord is covered by meninges. We all know that, right? Yes, and what are the meninges? There are three layers, right? Dura mater, arachnoid mater, and pia mater. So the pia mater is the innermost layer, and it is closely adherent to the spinal cord. That much is clear, I guess. So This pia mater, it continues down beyond the conus medullaris. So here we have, this is the pia mater. This is the pia mater. Here we also have arachnoid mater, and this is the dura mater, right? This pia mater, which is closely adherent to the spinal cord, it extends beyond the conus medullaris, and it is called as filum terminale. So that much is clear. So filum terminale is thus a modification of pia mater. Okay. Yes, and this is the dura mater, inside which we have arachnoid mater. And guys, CSF is present where? CSF, we already discussed that CSF is present in the subarachnoid space, right? Subarachnoid space. So it will be present here, right? Yes. And one more thing is that arachnoid mater, and this is the pia mater modification, this is the pia mater. And arachnoid mater and dura mater, it comes and merges with the pia mater at the level of S2. At the level of S2, this dura and arachnoid mater comes and meet with the pia mater. So I guess this is clear. This is conus medullaris. A thread-like structure comes from the conus medullaris to the coccyx. This is called as filum terminale. It is a modification of pia mater. Arachnoid mater and dura mater comes and merges at the level of S2. So I guess that is clear. Next. So the spinal cord ends at the level of L1, right? Yes. And the subarachnoid space is having CSF. That is also clear. Yes. And the subarachnoid space, that is arachnoid mater and dura mater, is up to the level of S2. That is also clear. So, yes, subarachnoid space ends at the level of S2. So, this will be the best site, because here the spinal cord is not present. Spinal cord ends at here, and arachnoid mater, subarachnoid space ends at here. So, this will be a better space for the lumbar puncture, for the extraction of CSF, because it doesn't irritate the spinal cord, right? Yes. So, lumbar puncture is mostly done at the level of L3, L4. L3, L4 is the safest level out of this. That is clear. Yes. Then comes the final terminale. Filum terminale, we have two filum terminale. It has an internum and it also having an externum. So guys, what is the difference? Can you guess this from this picture? Yes, right? This filum terminale internum is only made up of pia mater, and externum, yes, it is a fibrous band of the pia, dura and arachnoid. So that is the difference. Next, the spinal cord ends at the level of L1, right? Yes. And from the L1 onwards, the nerves begins from the respective segments, and these descends down and comes out, right? At the level of L1, what happens? The spinal cord ends, and from the level of N1, it the nerves enters into the respective segments. Okay, and what happens is that it appears to be a tail of horse. Okay, so that is called as coda equina. That is from the level of L1 onwards, the nerve begins from the respective segments, and these descends down and comes out. And this appears to be the tail of horse. Okay, yes. So this is called as coda equina. Coda means tail and equina means horse. Yes. And what are the other modifications of pia mater? It is a most important question in the anatomy. What is the other modifications of pia mater? One we already know, that is filum terminale. And the second thing is linea splendens. And the third thing is ligamentum denticulatum. Right? Yes. This is a cross section, or it is a transverse section, whatever it is, of the spinal cord. Cross section or transverse section of the spinal cord. Yes. Okay. Yes. This is the cross section. So this fissure, did you see this fissure? Right. So here we have a sulcus. Here we have a fissure. Okay. And this is the cross section. So this sulcus is called as, this is sulcus, right? This sulcus is called as, it is in posterior. So it is posterior, it is in medial side, it is median sulcus. Right? Yes. And anteriorly we are having a fissure. So this is called as anterior median fissure. This is posterior, it is medial side, it is median, and it is sulcus. And here it is anterior median fissure. That much is clear, I guess. Yes. And here there is pia mater, which is closely adherent. As we all know, the pia mater is closely adherent to the spinal cord. It enters into this fissure. Okay, and it appears as a linear thing entering into this fissure, so it is called as linea splendens. I guess this much is clear. So that is pia mater fills the anterior median fissure. From the ventral view, it appears as a linear line. It is called as linea splendens. Okay, so that is clear. Yeah. Internal structure of spinal cord, we are coming to it later. So this much is clear, I guess. What is linea splendens? This is the cross section of spinal cord. Here we are having a posterior median sulcus and also an anterior median fissure. So this pia mater, which is closely adherent to the spinal cord, it enters into this like a fissure, and it appears as a linear line called as linea splendens. And the next modification is ligamentum denticulatum. Okay. Denticulate means a tooth-like projection. It is denticulatum. Okay, a tooth-like projection. It is formed by the pia mater. Okay, this is the tooth-like projection. Okay, this is the tooth-like projection. It is formed by the pia mater. Okay, on the lateral aspect of the spinal cord, this is the spinal cord, and on either side of the spinal cord or lateral aspect of the spinal cord, a tooth-like projections is formed. This is called as ligamentum denticulatum. So, question may be asked like, how many ligamentum denticulatum do you have? We only have 2. Don't count these. We only have 2 on either sides. But if the question is how many projections do you have in each ligamentum denticulatum, then the answer is 21 on either side. So I guess ligamentum denticulatum, it is the tooth-like projections formed by the pia mater on either side of the spinal cord. I guess this is also clear. So there are 3 modifications. What are this? Like filum terminale. This is the filum terminale. We have earlier studied it. And linea splendens. This is linea splendens, and this is ligamentum denticulatum. And here comes the internal features of spinal cord. Yes. Internal features of spinal cord. This is a cross section we are cutting over here or anywhere. So we'll get this cross section, right? Yes. So we already studied. This is the posterior median sulcus, and this is the anterior median fissure. This much is clear. We are having a central canal over here. Okay, and we are having a gray matter. This is a gray matter. Okay, it is butterfly or H-shaped. Okay, this is a gray matter. Here it is butterfly or H-shaped gray matter, and outside this gray matter it is white matter. These are the white matter. So this much is clear. So gray matter is in H-shaped or a butterfly shaped, and gray matter is having extensions. These are the extensions, right? If we are taking about one side, these are the extensions of gray matter. We have a dorsal aspect and a ventral aspect, right? So this is called as horn. These extensions are called as horn, and we also have a dorsal and a ventral horn. This is a dorsal horn and this is a ventral horn on either side. Okay, and because of this horns, the white matter is divided as columns. Columns, it is also called as funiculus. It is important. Okay, columns of funiculus. Yes, here we have one, here we have one, and here we have one. So this is called as dorsal column, this is called as lateral column, and this is called as ventral column. So here we studied about the gray matter and white matter. So this is the butterfly shaped or H-shaped gray matter, which is having 2 horns on either side. This side, this is dorsal horn, this is ventral horn, this is dorsal horn, this is ventral horn, right? And because of this horns, the white matter is divided into 3. This part is called as dorsal column of the white matter, and this part is called as the lateral column of white matter, and this part is called as the ventral column of white matter. That much is clear. And the column is also called as funiculus. Next, so information, it information has to enter the spinal cord, and it also want to go out, right? So it enters through the dorsal horn of the spinal cord, and it enters into the spinal cord, and it comes out through the ventral horn, and it goes out. Okay, so it comes from here, enters into the spinal cord, and it goes out through here. This much is clear? Yes. So dorsal horn is purely afferent or sensory, right? Yes. And here it goes out. So it is purely efferent or motor. Ventral horn is purely efferent or motor. So all the sensory nuclei is present in the dorsal horn, and all the motor nuclei will be present on the ventral horn. So that much, guys. Please do subscribe to my channel. If you understood something, please like this video. Yes, I will upload the next part immediately. Thank you for listening.